Welcome to our webinar today entitled Intelligent Systems in Medical Devices. My name is Colin Gelfer, one of the co-founders of Atrium, and I'll be one of your hosts today. Also joining me from Atrium, we have Bridget Brown, Director of Customer Engagement, and Alec Davis, Senior Analytics Consultant. For today's agenda, we're going to spend a few minutes discussing some emerging trends in the medical device industry related to machine learning and AI. We'll also spend some time reviewing two customer stories. And then finally, we'll see some of these use cases in action during a live demo. Now, I realize that for many of you, Atrium might not be a household name just yet. So before we jump into the meat of the content, just a little context on our organization. Atrium is a platinum Salesforce consulting partner that is focused on taking insights from Einstein, both descriptive analytics and machine learning generated insights, and pushing those into the workflow of an end user so that they can take action. And that action is often taken in cloud applications, things like Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Marketing Cloud, really the broader Salesforce platform. So at Atrium, we want to bring three elements together: business strategy paired with data science skills and the ability to implement cloud applications with a data-driven approach. Now, as we bring those three capabilities together, it's really with the mindset or intent of how do we help our clients progress up this maturity curve? For many of our clients who are just getting started down this path, maybe they're transitioning from basic reports and static dashboards to actually building their first model. And in some cases, we're helping clients move up this curve to actually leverage next best actions to drive customer engagement, whether it be sales or service. Now, I'm going to pass it over to Bridget, who's going to walk us through some emerging trends that we're seeing in the med device space. Bridget?
Thanks, Colin, for the warm introduction. I'm thrilled to be able to share some insights into the current trends in the medical device market that are opening opportunities for AI solutions. We're already seeing AI use cases surfacing as the market continues to recover from the COVID pandemic. Q3's provided some foreshadowing for the months to come, and there will be a variety of additional opportunities for med device companies to improve their growth and margin in a highly competitive and evolving landscape over the next several years. I'd like to highlight a few domains related to revenue recovery and cost control that are getting quite a bit of immediate attention. I think we can all agree that a visit to your local hospital or clinic today looks very different than it did this time last year. As hospitals and clinics are opening up for elective procedures, they're doing so with limited appointment availability and a pruned back workforce. This is necessary to limit exposure and to maximize profitability. This lean model demands that medical facilities have solutions to help them prioritize procedures based on the availability of equipment and staff, and to minimize or eliminate downtime for capital equipment. Rescheduled appointments caused by equipment downtime or unoptimized schedules have the potential to negatively impact profitability and to delay revenue recovery. So med device companies that are able to predict when their equipment might fail and have a solution to help coordinate preventative maintenance can help to reduce this financial impact for their customers. Med device companies are also eager to begin recovering the revenues that they lost when elective procedures were halted and the demand for their products was eliminated. They're no longer able to freely walk the halls and attend procedures at their customers' facilities, so their sales models have had to adapt. This is also a lost opportunity for them to take visual inventory of stock on hand and to perform immediate kit replenishment activities. That real-time inventory evaluation and replenishment activity was helpful in reducing supply chain issues that otherwise cause over-ordering or equipment shortages. With a pent-up and building demand for elective surgeries, sales reps will need to anticipate, prioritize, and respond to the related demand for their products. This presents the possibility to match syndicated procedure data against actual sales data to determine propensity to buy additional products. Ultimately, sales reps should be able to identify optimal inventory levels and proactively sell based on a measured or anticipated gap. Ideally, they'll have solutions that proactively trigger opportunities based on this expected gap or a predicted replenishment date, and scoring solutions that keep them focused on those opportunities that have the highest likelihood to convert. At this time and into the near future, we expect that med device reps will be challenged with prioritizing their accounts and opportunities based on those that have the highest potential to generate the most revenue, and that they will orient their sales activities around account growth and retention versus net new account acquisition. The demo that we'll be sharing later in this session will illustrate how a med device sales rep can identify account potential within their existing accounts and be proactive in situations where CSAT may be impacting an account's likelihood to buy new products or to extend their existing contracts. So we've highlighted areas where med device companies can begin to recognize revenue, but what about solutions that can help to reduce or eliminate costs and improve profitability? The med device industry is plagued by increasing competitive threats. The most successful companies will be the most innovative. They will find methods to introduce products with minor modifications to original product bases and at the low costs that are being forced by the focus on value-based care. This will require improvements to the entire product development lifecycle in order to control development costs while also improving quality. Data centralization, intuitive analytics, and AI solutions will help to optimize trial operations and minimize time that it takes to bring a new device to market. Prior to even being approved for production, AI solutions will also help identify potential issues before they occur, which will reduce the costs related to downtime, product replacement, and other related issues. To reduce R&D expenses, it will be increasingly important for medical device companies to find market white space for their existing products. This can be supported by an account scoring model that helps identify target accounts with minimal obstacles to entry, and propensity to buy models that determine a potential customer's likelihood to buy based on their profile compared with other similar accounts. There's obviously a tremendous opportunity for AI to positively impact the med device space, but many of the solutions are still just out of reach. There are real-world use cases, however, that can be considered now, a few that we've already touched on. Some depend solely on more sophisticated analytics, while others are dependent on the development of AI models and interpretation of the model results. Several practical use cases are included in the next couple of slides. Consumables analytics and forecasting for consumables revenue management can help companies to understand revenue trends related to a variety of product mixes and predict account potential while improving forecasting accuracy based on historic and current pipeline data. Customer ROI analysis can help companies that sell capital equipment evaluate their customers' investments and determine how to maximize their ROI through growth and revenue improvements via what-if analysis. Companies can determine the likelihood that an account will buy a particular product based on historic buying patterns, procedure volumes, and comparable account profiles via AI-driven guided sales solutions that also recommend actions to take to move qualified deals forward. Field inventory management solutions can help companies reduce the cost to serve and reduce the likelihood of returns and transfers by providing visibility into consignment, trunk stock, and surgical kit inventory, and insights into forecast, inventory consumption, and transfer rates. Sales reps can determine a healthcare provider's likelihood to prescribe a particular therapy requiring the use of their device based on an advocacy score, and receive recommendations about what actions to take to improve that score. And finally, companies can more effectively identify trial therapy candidates with the highest likelihood to convert to a patient and positively impact their path to therapy by connecting with them earlier in their care flow to ensure that they're progressing through the stages at the desired rate. There are countless use cases that apply to the med device space. We just hit on a few. In the intelligent sales realm, a few additional examples are account white space and cross-sell predictions, pricing and discount recommendations, automated tender forecasting, and solutions to support proactive management of consumables and contract renewals. As for intelligent service solutions, some examples are prioritization of customer care cases based on factors such as severity, account health score, or account type, workforce optimization paired with field service solutions, and guided preventative support activities to improve customer health and positively impact retention. Now I'd like to introduce my colleague, Alec Davis. Alec's a senior consultant from Atrium's analytics team. He's going to share some examples of how Atrium has solved for a couple of these use cases that we just reviewed before he jumps into the revenue recovery demo that will illustrate how med device companies can unlock potential in their existing accounts.
Thank you so much, Bridget. I've been working as an analytics lead with a global technology leader in the med device space for the majority of 2020. The med device sales team at this company has historically had a significantly low net promoter score, or NPS, because sales reps are oftentimes just trying to sell the hospital in a newer med device, rather than showing the value of the ones the hospital already owns. And this is leading to a disconnect and loss of trust with the executives. So in order to improve this perception, sales directors and managers began holding business alignment meetings, and this is to align with the hospital executives on their strategic business priorities. The objective of these meetings is to demonstrate the value of the equipment investment and to build a roadmap that aligns with the established business priorities. The sales directors and reps needed a centralized location to get the data and information needed to facilitate these meetings. They often request reports from spreadsheets, charts from dozens of Tableau dashboards, and it takes them significant time to compile the data and to generate all these slide decks. This results in inconsistencies in the quality of the decks and a lack of tracking for future meetings. To address this challenge, Atrium designed and is in the process of implementing a state-of-the-art Einstein analytics solution. We've built 27 customer-facing, brand-compliant dashboards that are tailored to each of the business's high-level priorities and sub-priorities. The sales reps will identify their customer specific priorities, and for each, there's a corresponding dashboard with charts and metrics associated to that priority and sub-priority. These dashboards are embedded within Salesforce, and half of these dashboards represent the current state of the account, and half allow the users to see a future state version of the charts. Users are able to perform what-if analysis. So for example, let's say hospital A's priority is to increase the number of specific type of procedure by 100 procedures annually. The sales director can enter that value, and once it's saved, the increased volume will be applied across the existing calculations in real time on that dashboard. Sales directors are now equipped with a centralized repository for all of the ROI and evaluation information and have the ability to present opportunities for growth. Lastly, I want to call out the sales directors and managers' issues to build a consistent slide deck for these meetings. Using the content we've generated, this company built a way to automatically generate a custom tailored slide deck ready to be reviewed and presented to the executives with just a few clicks. Sales reps are able to capture images of these dashboards, generate a slide deck that automatically gets added to the Salesforce record. This solution has a few benefits. The automation significantly reduces the time it takes to pull together the presentation material. There's consistency in how the decks are being generated, and they now can track the history for these slide decks. Clinical sales teams reps needed a better, more consistent way to prepare the value statements for their respective accounts specific to their markets, competitive landscape, and specific business priorities. They can now build a stronger partnership by putting the customer's priorities first and ultimately improve their net promoter scores. With this company, Atrium's built customer-facing content for sales teams. We've also worked with a separate med device company to better drive lead identification and conversion. This med device company sells a wide spectrum of products you would see at various healthcare providers. They sell one particular product designed to help alleviate chronic pain. Once a candidate for this product has been identified, often through a digital or social network, the goal is to figure out if this candidate is suited to use this product for a trial period to evaluate effectiveness. Once a candidate enters this trial period, likelihood to move forward with the product is very high. So through this multi-stage process, leads can stall out in the various stages. The first stage is education, where candidates are provided with information on the product and whether they are a fit and would likely benefit. This is followed by the qualification stage, which is more administrative. Candidates receive forms from their doctor, insurance is squared away, essentially ensuring that there will be no missteps prior to the trial period. What this company has seen, however, is that leads can languish or accelerate through this process, and they did not have insight into the amount of time spent in each stage or actions to take to convert more leads. They wanted to know how many leads are languishing in the education stage, how many leads are coming directly from doctors' offices or pain specialists, how long a lead is sitting in the qualification stage, waiting on documentation. So to address these needs, Atrium designed Einstein Analytics dashboards with predictive insights for this company. These dashboards identify the strongest lead source areas, show amount of time spent for leads in a given stage, what leads languish in given stages, and potential next best actions to convert leads to the trial stage. With all this information at a glance with actionable insights, we've now given this company the tools to augment lead conversion and ultimately help individuals struggling with chronic pain. And with that, I'd like to transition to show how Einstein can provide insights and next best actions with this demo. So today, our goal is to demonstrate how medical device companies can begin to recover revenue by identifying and maximizing opportunities within their existing accounts. Field sales and specialty sales representatives generally manage territories with an account base that is extensive and diverse. Many field representatives are covering a large portfolio of products as well, and they need to determine how to maximize revenue opportunities for new and established customers. We will illustrate how sales reps can identify growth account opportunities at varying stages of their account lifecycle, as well as how to collaborate across the account team to improve a customer's likelihood to renew their contract. This demo will share the perspective of Michelle Russell, a field services rep that sells capital equipment and coordinates with specialty service reps to sell add-on service contracts for repairs, replacements, and proactive maintenance. Michelle will be attempting to identify land opportunities based on an account's propensity to buy, identify amend opportunities based on the customer's contract consumption patterns, otherwise known as ROI, and lastly, identify accounts at risk of attrition due to low health scores so that she can intervene before the contract renewal date. Let's hop over to Salesforce. So as you can see, I'm already logged in as Michelle Russell. When Michelle logs in first thing in the morning, she can see an account dashboard as well as a summary of key activities and recent records that she's been working with. She has a dashboard on her home page with information on all of her accounts that can be filtered based on conditions related to the account, like contract expiration period, specialty service coverage, and account health factors. You can notice also that there are 3 donut charts showing new equipment purchased between segments of clinic and hospital, product distribution, and soon to be expiring contracts from 3 months, 6 months, and outside of 6 months. Now these all work in tandem. So if I want to specifically look at hospitals, I can facet each donut chart to that and see a very specific metrics in relation to those 10 hospitals. I have the same ability up here, filtering for the next 3 months. Also, there's a table below that shows the hospitals that are also faceted based on my filters or my selections on the dashboard. One of my primary focuses, and by my, I mean Michelle's primary focuses as a field sales rep, is to identify account potential within her territory for net new sales as well as add-on and repeat business. She wants to determine the likelihood that an account will buy a particular product or service so that she can focus her time on those accounts and opportunities that are more likely to convert. This is determined by customers' propensity to buy score. If her organization is promoting a new product or trying to encourage add-on services, she'll want to determine which accounts have limited or minimal penetration for that product or service. In this scenario, she'll want to identify and isolate accounts that have purchased 1 or more products from her organization's portfolio, but have not purchased a suggested value-added service. So let's go ahead and change the service coverage to none. Down below, Michelle sees Fuller Hospital here. So she's going to select Fuller to create a new service opportunity As she can see, it has a fairly high propensity to buy, and the age of the most recent purchases is less than a month. I want to move this opportunity, or she wants to move this opportunity while it is still fresh. She can do this by selecting Create New Opportunity from the list of available actions that are directly on this Einstein table. This list can easily be configured with a variety of actions. Once Michelle's created the opportunity, she'll be able to do more analysis. Let's go ahead and set a close date of today. Let's go ahead and save that opportunity. So now we can go to the opportunity I just created, and you'll see a number of factors here. I want to point your attention to the right-hand side of the screen where you see two Einstein components, where we've got a likelihood to close, as well as next best actions. So here, I want to request a quote, and you can see that's already, as we go here, from PCS. This looks good. I'm going to hit next. And there we go. That quote's been accepted. Michelle would have recognized that likelihood to close is lower than she's hoping for, but this is an early stage opportunity, and she trusts the score will improve as she follows Einstein recommendations. In this case, this is an add-on service that Einstein knows she needs a specialty service rep to provide a quote for. So in the next best action, when I clicked request, the specialty service representative assigned to the Fuller account, who was Tara at the time, will receive a task notification. Once Michelle receives that quote from Tara, she'll be able to determine if we are willing to consider a discount. Let's go back to the home page now. For those accounts that have existing add-on service coverage, Michelle's particularly interested in those with a high consumption rate against their current contracts. Within Michelle's organization, they refer to that metric as ROI, or return on investment, and accounts that have surpassed 100% of their service value are particularly interesting. This means they're losing margin and missing out on potential revenue. So Michelle wants to identify those accounts that have exceeded ROI so that she can take the next best steps toward better aligning their consumption with their contract. To do that, Michelle can click on this ROI filter and filter on ROI greater than 100%. Michelle may want to dig in further on Kennedy Health Clinic over here. She notices that the health score is low on this account, and there's likely some guidance from Einstein on what the next best action is that she should take. So let's go ahead and open that record up directly from this dashboard. Michelle notices that Einstein suggested that she should create an action plan. So let's go ahead and do that. So when Michelle agrees to create the action plan, it can kick off workflow to create an action plan template and notify the account team that we need to generate a shared plan. Once the record is finished or refreshed, I can see that Einstein now recommends, and we'll go ahead and refresh the screen here, to schedule a business review. Michelle will wait to do this until she's met with her account team to solidify the plan. Lastly, let's isolate at-risk renewal accounts. So what I'm going to do is look at the next 3 months here for when a contract is getting close to expiration. Based on the account health score and some trends that I'm seeing, I'm going to go ahead and look at Grace Memorial. Based on these next 3 months contract expiration dates, I'm going to look at Roberts University Hospital as an example, where I see ROI is pretty low. The account health score is not terrible. Let's open up the record directly from the dashboard. It looks like consumption rate, or ROI, is pretty consistent with what we would expect at this point in their contract. They're likely to extend services, but their account health is not quite as desirable. I want to dig into this further, so I go to their account page and I'm here now. And you can see Einstein's next best action as well is to create another action plan here. I will do the same thing. And just like in the last scenario, when I refresh my page, I'll find that Einstein's next best action is to schedule a business review again. Hopefully this gives you some fresh ideas about how you can use the capabilities available within Einstein Analytics and Discovery to identify existing accounts with the revenue growth and amendment opportunities. More importantly, we hope you're able to see how Einstein's action framework helps to improve sales efficiencies and to guide reps in what actions to take to move their opportunities forward.
Okay, thanks, Alec, for that really insightful demo. Now, as we wrap up our webinar, hopefully you've all been able to see some of these use cases in practice and really leave with some ideas on how you could implement these within your own organization. And two, that there's really a clear path to getting started with AI and machine learning. And if you're interested in learning more, please reach out to us at atrium.ai. We can help you build really your own specific playbook for how to get started with AI and analytics. Thanks and have a great day.